I was in a conversation with Megan Smith, who's the United States White House CTO. And in a conversation with her, we were talking about exactly this question. And she pointed out that there are 200,000 jobs in data science alone. And the hundreds of thousands of jobs available in the US in cybersecurity and many of these fields. And the word data science did not exist 7 years ago. And many of these jobs in cybersecurity and so on are all new in the past 10 years. Cybersecurity itself has become a major problem in these past 10 years. The whole world changes every 10 years. And the education system is still focused on, at the age of 18, you learn for 4 years, and then you work for the rest of your life. That model doesn't make sense in this fast-moving world when the jobs are in areas which are only 10 years old. So we need to move to a form of education that I call continuous education, continuous learning, where instead of going to university for 4 years, right after college, maybe you go to university for 2 years. So you can drink a lot of beer and have a lot of fun, but really become a continuous learner, go to university, get a job, continue learning throughout life so that you can keep pace with what is happening in the world. And online education and the platform that we are building enables people to do that. They don't have to go to a campus while they're working, they can learn online.
And I guess that you've been working with your partners from Spain for quite a long time. You yourself are a professor at MIT. We are in an election period right now, so we're, leaders are listening. What would you recommend to a country like Spain to do with its educational system?
I think, first of all, Spain must be congratulated. I see the adoption of open education and open learning and online innovative pedagogies and technologies all over the world, but some of the leading countries that I see are countries like Spain and France, where there are national level initiatives for innovation in online education. And the amount of adoption and the pace of adoption of online in Spain is absolutely mind-boggling. We have 3 partners in Spain alone. And I would encourage the government to think of online education and possibly even think of creating an online national education platform. So edX has made our platform open source. We are a nonprofit. And many countries have adopted open edX to create a national learning platform. One country who's done that is France. They launched France Université Numérique. Russia announced a national platform a month ago called openedu.ru using open edX. Korea launched a platform called KMOOC a few weeks ago. Saudi Arabia launched Durub. Jordan launched EDRAC, all using open edX. And so the national infrastructures being created using this open platform that we made available to the whole world for free. I would encourage Spain to take this free resource, this free platform, and make it available as a national resource.
Just 2 more questions. I would like to ask you about some surprises that you've had over the period you've been running edX. I know about some very brilliant kids that appeared in the middle of Pakistan and then joined MIT when they were 15. Tell us a couple of surprises like that. Did you experience?
My goodness. The beauty of working at edX and why it's such an honor and a pleasure for me to work there is there is at least 10 very pleasant and exciting surprises every day, and at least 1 very unpleasant surprise every day. And this happens when you are innovating and moving at 100 miles per hour. Some amazing surprises. I'll give you one example. This was a letter that we received at edX from, you mentioned Pakistan, from a student in Pakistan. Her name is Khushbakt. She lives in Peshawar in Pakistan. She's a housewife now, but she tells us that when she was in 9th grade, she was married and she had to stop her education in high school. But today she's 25 and she's discovered edX courses, and she's taking justice from Harvard, for example. And she's able to learn online, and she says her husband is very supportive, and she's gone back to getting her education. So we were totally surprised that we're able to have an impact on people all over the world. As another example, what we are seeing is that people are now offering small degrees. One of the biggest surprise for me was what MIT did. MIT and edX partnered, and about 3 weeks ago, we launched a micro master's credential. So just imagine this. Now you can come to edX, and you can take about 4 courses from MIT on edX online in supply chain management. And if you pass those courses with a proctored exam, you can get a micro master's credential from MIT online on edX. And then you can apply to MIT, and if you get in, that MicroMasters will convert to credit at MIT for half a master's degree in supply chain management. And to me, again, this was a very pleasant surprise because I thought that the pathway from MOOCs or online courses to credit would take at least maybe 100 years. But this was able to happen so quickly within 4 years. So another big surprise, a very pleasant surprise.
Okay, a couple of minutes to tell us about the main challenges that you are encountering.
So again, innovating, and again, all of you are innovators under 35. You know that the problems you are solving are very, very challenging problems, and if you solve them, you can change the world. So we're all in very good company here. So you're not strangers to innovation and challenges. And if it wasn't hard, it would have already been done. So you're innovators and solving hard problems. You're not scared of hard problems, and you're taking big risks. Similarly, at edX, we are a nonprofit, but we run edX like a startup company. But it's a nonprofit. So you can have a nonprofit startup as well, where the motivation is succeeding and winning, but it's nonprofit. One of the biggest challenges we face is if you look at MOOCs, MOOCs are broad courses taken by, like I said, in some cases, 100,000 or more students from all over the world. One challenge we have is, within the context of this large course taken by hundreds of thousands of students, at the same time, how do we build a platform and an experience that give the student the small group experience as well? How do you scale to hundreds of thousands or millions and yet enable people to get an experience as if 3 students are working together in your house or in your dorm room or in a cafe? And so to do that, our team at edX has launched a very innovative feature on edX called Teams. So you may have many people taking a MOOC course, and you can invite your friends and form a team of up to 10 people on the edX platform. It's like a study group. And then you can study together. You get a private discussion area. You can give your team an exciting name. You can describe your team in a paragraph so others around the world can select your team. So we're trying some innovative approaches, but it is a challenge. And we think we can overcome these challenges by building cool new technologies to create a good small group social experience at the same time as a large scalable learning experience.
So in our last minutes, in this express interview, I wanted to use you to give some advice to these new innovators under 35 that we are awarding today.
Oh my goodness, it's not for me to give you advice, it's for me to take advice from you. You're doing all such amazing things. The only advice I would give is, when I was in high school, my high school mathematics teacher told me that he made the statement, hitch your wagon to a star. I didn't quite understand what that was. And later on, I understood what he meant, which is always try to reach beyond what you can easily get hold of. And if you find that everything is coming to you very easily, if you're succeeding all the time, that means you're not taking risks. That means you're not being aggressive enough. That means you're not tackling the hardest problems that you can. So unless you're failing at least a few times, you have not been aggressive, you've not reached out far enough. So all the best, and here's to failing. We have to learn to fail a few times, because that will convince us that yes, we are reaching beyond our limits. And by doing so, you will succeed and you will change the world.
Well,
thank you. Thank you.